He said, she said, you said. We got your comments from Rebellion. So, Sean B. in the Everything Pro Wrestling group gave his thoughts on the pay-per-view by stating, I really love this pay-per-view. First Impact pay-per-view I've watched since Aces and Eights were around. That triple threat match was en fuego. I'm not very good at Spanish, sorry. What a way to open the show. It really is true that the opening match sets the tone for the rest of the night. W. Morrissey was impressive, unlike his name in Impact. Horrible name, it's his real name. Last Man Standing was amazing. Just shocked at the outcome of the winner. And my bigger shot was actually Mauro Ranallo carrying both Stryker and D'Lo Brown on commentary during the main event. He sounds like he didn't miss a beat at all. I agree. Mauro Ranallo is reason enough just to watch that if you're a fan of him. If you don't, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Thomas D. on our main post also gave us thoughts on the pay-per-view, saying, great pay-per-view. All the matches were done well and great performance by all. Omega vs. Swan was a 5-star match in my opinion. It didn't have the outcome I'd hoped, but it was damn exciting. I disagree on that. I don't think it was 5-star. There was 2 botches in the match. That's what kept it from being higher up on my list. They did an okay job of trying to hide the fact that it was not a botch, or trying to hide the fact that it was a botch, sorry. But they couldn't get over it. It was a botch. It was a botch. But, like I said, great match. It was still made the top 5. And there was some competition this week, so it was good. Okay, so let's move on to your comments from NWA Power. Ted C. in the World of Wrestling group gave us his quick thoughts on Power overall, saying, I love how NWA has that throwback setting, ring and backstage. Whatever you call it, backdrop, I guess would be a better saying for it. I agree, Ted. It was great. I really enjoy it. It's really good. I feel that makes them set apart. It's what we were saying in our Something to Talk About earlier, that Impact does something different. NWA does something different. It's okay to be different and not be number one, because different is not for everybody. But it doesn't mean you're not successful. And NWA is very successful at what they do. Alright, sound off regular Jamie T in the NWA Power Hour group, it might have a different name next week, but I won't call it the new name, gave his thoughts on the show by stating, I thought it was a good episode. Taryn Terrell's bitchy, sassy promo work was surprisingly good. I really enjoyed it. The worst moment of the show was Danny Deals making any kind of appearance. Austin Idol and Velvet Sky bickering on commentary during the TV title match was the closest to good commentary from Velvet so far. The big 6-man at main event was a very good match, about as good as a television taping 6-man with slightly random teams can be expected to be. Overall a good show that usefully developed several of the main storyline and makes me want to tune in next week. All great points by Jamie. It's true, they did push the storylines. I wouldn't agree so much that it was good commentary from Velvet Sky, but you know, what can we do? What can we do? So, we'll move on from there to NXT. Your comments from NXT this week. We had Jamie G in the Pro Wrestling Discussion Group agreed that the show was missing a little something by saying, overall, there wasn't any good matches. And it felt more like a setup story more than good in-ring action. Darren A. in the NXT UK NXT 205 Live Worlds Collide group gave his thoughts on Imperium as well as his upcoming women's title match, the upcoming women's title match. I don't know if Darren actually has an upcoming women's title match, but good luck if you do. Stating, I got a gut feeling that there will be new additions that Imperium is asking for. Originally they wanted Timothy Thatcher to join, but I guess that idea fell apart now that Ciampa is reunited with him. I'd be surprised if Dane does join Imperium, even though it won't be the first time I saw him as a heel per se. Plus, I guess you can say it's also half of Sanity reunion with Alexander Wolf. 2 weeks from now, I'm definitely checking out the matchup between Raquel Gonzalez and Mercedes Martinez. It looks like it's going to be one intense battle between the two, and we've seen them in tough battles before, especially those with Rhea Ripley. Very good points. I don't think we're going to see Dane and Imperium, as I'm more likely to see Wolf leave or kicked out of Imperium. So we'll see how that one fares, so to speak. Okay, so now your comments from Dynamite. So we got your Dynamite comments. Sound off regular Porfirio C in the AEW Alternate Elite Wrestling gave his thoughts on the main event of the night by saying, "The main event didn't feel like a main event. It was, however, a good setup. I really do think the real main event was Cage versus Hangman, and though it wasn't supposed to be an upset, it sure felt like it." Fair points. I agree that maybe 10 is probably not main event material, but they're doing it because they just want the TNT title to be the main event, right? So I get it. I think that it makes the TNT title feel like it's the main event, so others want to fight for it, so that it basically is a way to get into the main event of Dynamite, but I get what you're saying. Andre T in the Minutes to Beltane group gave his rundown of the thoughts on the show, stating, "I'm ready for Britt to have the belt. She's played the part so well and deserves it. Her promos have me cracking up. The Factory is a bunch of second-tier guys trying to move up to the main event status. Not happening, but needs time to grow. Inner Circle is going to win in the most brutal way possible. Don't know which way, but it will be brutal. Sammy will pin Shawn." You gotta remember, I could be wrong, but from what they said, submission or surrender. So I don't actually think you can get a pinfall win in this match. But don't quote me on that. That's just what I remember them saying on Dynamite, that it's submission or surrender for victory. We'll see though, because we're 3 days away. Alright, so we got one more show with your comments this week, and that show is NXT UK. Darren once again had some great comments. He's our big NXT guy. And the same, catch my breath here first. In the NXT UK NXT 205 Live Worlds Collide group, let us know their thoughts on the Gauntlet and their Loser Leaves Town matches coming, stating, "My prediction for winning the women's Gauntlet would have to be Amelia McKenzie. I've seen her do very well in Progress, as have I, and looking forward to seeing her give Kaylee Ray a run for her money. I can definitely see her winning gold on NXT UK. I wonder if Kenny Williams will be heading to another brand, such as heading to the US for NXT and/or 205 Live. I can see Amir Jordan winning, kicking Kenny out of NXT UK. Otherwise, I might see him in another brand that's affiliated with WWE, such as ICW, where he also competed in back then. Possible, all very possible. Or as I mentioned in the comments to Darren, I also think a mask could come into play. Very possible. So we'll see. I am very interested to see where they go with that.